Hi, Bridget. I'd like to ask you a few questions about raising 6 kids this day and age while battling breast cancer.
Sure.
When did you decide you wanted to have 6 kids?
I grew up in a home with 6 children, as did my husband. I loved having a large family, and so did he. I guess I always wanted to have my own.
Obviously, it is extremely expensive to raise kids today. How are you able to plan financially for raising 6 kids?
It is very stressful balancing all of the finances. Unfortunately, there is never a break financially, always an increase in everything. I am very conscious of how I spend each and every dollar on everything.
Do you work?
I do not work outside of the home. The duties in raising my children, keeping my house clean, laundry clean, hungry mouths fed, chauffeuring, etc., take up the day, though I do assist my husband in running his Tropicana route business.
So your husband works. What's his schedule like?
My husband does work. He is an operating engineer. He usually leaves the home at around 4 or 5 a.m. and returns home anywhere from 4:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. He then continues to work in his basement office doing his Tropicana route business. He basically works 6 to 7 days a week to keep us financially stable.
What was one huge challenge you faced while being a parent?
Breast cancer was a huge challenge for me. It totally blew me away. I never thought it would happen to me, even while I was awaiting the results of my biopsies.
How old were you when you were diagnosed?
I was 40 years old when I received the call on Valentine's Day that I had breast cancer. It was about 9 a.m. and I was doing laundry. I remember the shock. I did continue to do the wash and called my husband to let him know. Although I could not call my mother. She called around noon and I told her what had happened, and that was just an awful phone call.
How old were your children at the time?
My children ranged from 12 to 1. Delia was 12, Christopher 11, Liam 9, Annie 6, Bridget 3, and Colleen 1.
How did you break the news to them?
Myself and my husband took the kids out after church to brunch at the Marriott in New York City. We told them the bad news as we were all seated. We assured them everything was going to be okay. My one son had thought I was pregnant because of the past week I had been in and out of the doctors. I wish number 7 would have been a much better surprise.
How were you able to cope with everything between being the mother of 6 and going through chemotherapy and breast cancer?
Luckily, when I went for chemo on Wednesdays, my aunt would come over to watch the baby Colleen. By the time I drove home from chemo, I was shot. Luckily, the other kids would be dropped off home from school by a neighbor. Delia was a great help. She had to immediately step up to the plate. Delia took care of everything at 12 years old. She was a godsend.
When did this journey end, and how do you think it changed you?
The chemo ended in April 2008, but the surveillance is still going on. I think I'm stronger because I overcame the disease. I had so much to fight for, and I thank God for the strength.